Oh, it's the beats and the horns. You know that means it's time for the Stardom Sid'em Show. That's right, we got the air horns too. Welcome to another edition of the Stardom Sid'em Show. I am Marcus Grant, joined by Michael F. Florio. And out there in the ether are the specialists, the cast of dozens that help us put on this show each and every day, each and every week. And here we are. Week 11 is upon us. How are we feeling about life right now, Florio?
I'm feeling pretty good, although it hit me that after this week, there's the same number of regular season fantasy games as there is fantasy playoff games. Like, we are quickly approaching that crunch time of year.
Yeah, I thought about that this morning, too, because Thanksgiving is next week, and that means we really are in the stretch run of the fantasy season. It will just be a handful of regular season weeks, then the 3 playoff weeks, and then just like that, it's all over. We're washing our hands of it, and we're resting, right? Because that's what we do. We just have a long, peaceful, quiet off season to rest, and nothing else happens. That's it.
Yeah, no draft, nothing like that.
No combine, no draft, no free agency, no just random hot takes about, name the random third wide receiver on a team that we're going to argue about all off season long. That's it. Nothing's going to happen. Anyway, lots going to happen on this show. We're going to have, of course, our top starts and sits of the week, which you can always go check out at NFL.com/startsit, where Michael F. Florio writes the column every week. We'll have some trending players that we're getting a lot of questions about. Plus, as always, our Club Dub players of the week, the guys that we think are going to score you 25 or more fantasy points this week. But let's get started with the Stardom Sit quarterbacks. And for week 11, who's on your list?
Justin Fields, because, if you don't know to start Justin Fields by now, I can't help you. Daniel Jones in a good matchup against the Lions. Jimmy G in a good matchup against the Cardinals. And I just can't seem to quit Marcus Mariota in fantasy. He has a good matchup against the Bears. Some sits. Derek Carr, who's been struggling and going up against a tough Broncos defense. Matt Ryan against a tough Philly defense. Jared Goff against the Giants, who have been very stingy to quarterbacks. And then Andy Dalton against the Rams, because I want no parts of Andy Dalton ever.
I didn't think the Saints wanted any more parts of Andy Dalton, but apparently they do. They're deciding they're going to stick with him at least for one more week. But let's go back to the good side there. You got Jimmy Garoppolo against the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City on Monday Night Football. By the way, if you have not had a chance to check out the latest edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Show, definitely go check it out. We had our friend Mauricio Gutierrez on from Mexico. He's part of the NFL Fantasy and Espanol team. Had a lot of really fun, good stuff to say. So make sure you check that out. But let's get back to Jimmy Garoppolo, because on his own as a quarterback, he's still fairly mid, but he's got a lot of weapons around him, and he's got a good matchup. And I think that goes a long way toward getting him in some lineups this week.
Yeah, it's everything you said. You take a fairly mid quarterback and you say, all right, now he's got maybe arguably the best supporting cast around him in the NFL against a team that allows a ton of production. And that mid quarterback can become a nice streaming option for fantasy. And Jimmy G has been mid. Like you said, he sits between 15 and 18 fantasy points most weeks. But last year against the Cardinals, he threw for over 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals have been allowing almost 21 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks in the last month. That is the 6th most. This is just a game, I think, where the Niners have a chance to just all of them. The Cardinals allow the most yak, which is huge because we know that this is an offense built on yak.
Absolutely built on guys like Debo and Kittle and McCaffrey. That's how they live. That's how they make their livings 100%. Derek Carr has been less than mid. We thought he could be okay this season. They added Devontae Adams to an offense that already had Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. It has not worked out in the least. We saw a very emotional Derek Carr last week after the Raiders lost. And now they've got a really good defense facing them in the Denver Broncos. I guess if you had any thoughts of starting Derek Carr, you're about to tell people why that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I think the only place Derek Carr is in play is in 2 quarterback or super flex leagues. In 1 QB leagues, I would stay far, far away. Not only you said he hasn't lived up to expectations, he's yet to reach 20 fantasy points on the season. So there's really no upside with Derek Carr. And then you talk about the fact of how tough the Denver Broncos have been. In the last month, they've allowed just 7.5 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. And on the year, they've allowed the second fewest. And when Derek Carr faced them earlier this season, he threw for 188 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, that is brutal, and not sure if it's going to get much better this week against the Broncos defense that really has done its best to carry the team. The offense for Denver has sort of let them down this year. Let's move on to the wide receivers, the start sits for the week, and please take me through your list here.
Rondale Moore, I know Marquise Brown is up in the air. I still think Moore is in play this week. Kadarius Toney, finally we could get him in our starting lineups with some confidence. Paris Campbell has been playing really well with Matt Ryan, and Cortland Sutton, because Raiders. And then the sits, Deontay Johnson, all that volume just hasn't led to any production with Kenny Pickett. Devonta Smith in a tough matchup. Adam Thielen, who I think is really getting supplanted in that offense by TJ Hawkinson, and then Wan'Dale Robinson, who's banged up right now. But even if you were thinking about using him, I think Darius Slayton is the play from New York this week.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson, reports are he's dealing with a hamstring issue, and now I kind of wonder, is he playing the Kadarius Toney role in New York since Kadarius isn't there anymore?
Someone has to.
Somebody has to, right? Speaking of Toney, you got him in your start list against the Chargers, and I know you've been itching for this moment all season long, so I'm just going to stand back and let you gush about Kadarius Toney's opportunity.
Well, the thing that myself and others who like Toney have been saying is, like, just put the ball in this guy's hands and good things will happen. And we saw that on the very, very limited sample size with the Giants this year. But then last week was the first time really all year he was a consistent contributor to an offense, and he rushed for 33 yards on 2 carries. He caught 4 of his 5 targets for 57 yards and a touchdown. There was multiple plays in this game where he just had the ball in his hands and people just couldn't catch him because he's fast and shifty. He reminds me of Tyreek Hill, of a more raw Tyreek Hill, of course, for a reason. They used him a bit in the slot, a little bit out wide. He led the non-running backs in yards per route ran, percent of routes he was targeted on, and yak per catch. There's a lot of big playability here. Plus, Mecole Hardman's up in the air, Juju's up in the air, even MVS missed practice this week.
Yeah, that's, I think, as big a part of it as anything, where you talk about the guys who are not available. Mecole Hardman still dealing with that abdomen issue, Juju in concussion protocol. So they could very much be shorthanded when it comes to receivers this week in a game that could be high scoring, with the Chargers also starting to get healthy at the right time. Devonta Smith, he has been very much boom or bust. I've had some people tell me they are so sick of him, they don't know if they can start him anymore because he's been inconsistent. And I'm like, I don't know. He's kind of been the guy we thought he was going to be, but you don't like him this week against Indianapolis, huh?
Yeah, I think he is exactly the guy that you were saying, a little bit boom or bust. I just don't know if this is a game where the Eagles are going to have to throw a bunch. I think their defense will do a good job getting pressure on Matt Ryan, potentially forcing a couple of turnovers. And if Smith didn't score that touchdown last week, it would have been single digits for a 3rd straight game for him. The Colts have allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to receivers this year. And again, I don't know if this is a game where the Eagles really have to air it out. I think they'll rely more on their elite run game.
We'll see whether or not it's a big game for Miles Sanders after he didn't do much last week against the Commanders. And of course, we know Jalen Hurts can always get out of the pocket and run if they need him to as well. That gets us to another edition of How We Feeling, where we blast through some names on a list and talk about how we're feeling about them. These are some people that we are hearing about on social media. You guys have questions, so we'll do our best to try to clear some of them up. So let's start with Deshaun Watson, who returned to practice this week. He is eligible to get back on the field and play in Week 13 against the Houston Texans. So you still got to wait a couple weeks if you want to start Deshaun Watson. But as of now, how are we feeling about him?
I think right now, if you're in need of a quarterback, and we know a lot of fantasy managers are, he's a name that you should be looking to pick up right now. And like you said, he returned to practice this week. They get the bye. They play next week, but then December 4th against the Texans, he's going to return. And I mean, that's an immediate revenge game for him. We know all eyes are going to be on that game. Even if you don't start him right away because you want to see if he could shake off the rust, we know the upside here is top 10, top 5, and quarterback hasn't been what we thought it was going to be. So maybe if you were the manager that drafted a Stafford or a Brady or a Rodgers and you've been streaming all year, this is a chance to kind of find a guy who you could just plug in for the playoffs.
I think he's going to be very attractive to fantasy managers who have been sort of limping along with underperforming quarterbacks. Speaking of which, Justin Herbert has been underperforming, but I feel okay about him. First off, I don't think it's been his fault that he's been underperforming. He's been playing well, all things considered. He just has been handcuffed because he hasn't had any weapons there. But it looks like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen will be back for this week's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, hopefully he's just healthier. Let's remember, he was playing through an injury earlier in the season. So it seems as if everything's coming together at the right time for Justin Herbert. And I feel okay about him this week. Kenyon Drake has been up and down. He's had some really good performances for the Ravens. I know Gus Edwards is looking at potentially coming back this week, but how do you feel about Drake against the Panthers?
I personally am starting Drake everywhere that I have him. The Panthers have allowed a ton of production on the ground. This could be a game where the Ravens are playing from ahead, and Kenyon Drake looked so good the last couple of times. He's gotten a lot of work there. I know Gus Edwards is a thing, but with Gus, getting a lot of workload that one game and then getting hurt, I don't see how they could just completely get away from Kenyon Drake.
I think Kenyon Drake's a good start this week as well. That gets us to another running back, Miles Sanders, and I touched on him briefly just a moment ago against the Indianapolis Colts, and I feel okay about him this week. I don't know that it's a spectacular matchup, but it's certainly better than the one he had last week against the Washington Commanders. So I do think that the Eagles will be able to run the ball a little bit more effectively. I think you'll see Sanders get a little bit more production, and who knows, now with Dallas Goedert injured, maybe that means a couple more short targets for him in the passing game as well. But either way, I think you have a better opportunity to start him this week than you did last week. Amari Cooper going against the Buffalo Bills. I know weather is on everybody's mind there. How much is it affecting you, and how do you feel about Cooper?
I think it greatly has to impact Amari Cooper because I'm not even afraid of the Bills' secondary anymore for fantasy purposes right now. They're so banged up, but he has struggled outside of Cleveland. His home road splits are extreme, and now you're talking about potentially 6 feet of snow, and he's a big play threat in this offense. I would get away from Amari Cooper if they're playing in that snowstorm. You're going to have to monitor the weather. They might move the game, but if he's playing in a snowstorm, I'm staying away.
There's definitely talk that the game could be moved to some other places. We'll see what happens there. Michael Pittman against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I will tell you that I'm not feeling particularly great about it. First off, you've got that Eagles secondary, which has been tough all season long, and more than anything, this isn't the Raiders. Last week, the Colts went out and surprised a lot of people. They played well against that Las Vegas defense. They got a win. This is a completely different animal, and then you're going to have Matt Ryan with pressure in his face. I think it's going to be tough for him to get the football out. You might not be able to avoid Michael Pittman. I've heard some people tell me that as well. I get it, but I'm just not excited about what potentially could happen this week. DJ Moore flashed for a couple of weeks, then sort of disappeared, and now it looks like Baker Mayfield's back at quarterback. How do you feel about DJ?
Not great. I was all set to write about him as a start this week, and then they made the announcement that Baker Mayfield would be starting, and I was like, yeah, I can't really do that. I think DJ Moore is a boomer bust wide receiver 3. In a couple of places, like I'm playing Rondale Moore over him in a league, I'm playing Paris Campbell over him in a league, and then in one spot I have to decide him or Michael Pittman Jr. I think that's kind of in the range we are with DJ Moore right now, as long as Baker's the quarterback.
Yeah, just frustrating because it looked like he was really starting to turn a corner, but PJ Walker is hurt. Last one is Darnell Mooney. He and the Bears take on the Atlanta Falcons. And look, on the surface, this game's probably going to be run heavy because both these teams really want to run the football. But I still love Darnell Mooney this week. Now, we know Cole Kmet's a little bit banged up. Khalil Herbert is out for a few weeks. There aren't a lot of places for Justin Fields to go with the football when he wants to throw it. So I think Darnell Mooney's going to get a lot of targets. Now, mind you, the Bears are only throwing it about 20 to 25 times per game, but wouldn't be surprised if you see, a third or more of those targets going in the direction of Mooney against the bad secondary. I absolutely love starting him this week. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, how confident should you feel about putting George Kittle in your lineup? I mean, the Cardinals seem like a pretty good matchup. Talking about tight ends, that's coming up next, along with our finger-licking good starts on the Fantasy Stardom Situm Show. Stardom Situm tight ends for Week 11. Florio, go.
George Kittle because Cardinals. Cole Kmet, who's been red hot as of late against the Falcons. Dalton Schultz, who looks like the Dalton Schultz that we were all excited for with Dak Prescott again. And Greg Dulcich against the Raiders because Raiders. And then some sits. Tyler Higbee because he's the only piece that the Saints are going to have to worry about stopping this week. And they've been elite at stopping tight ends. Dawson Knox because 6 feet of snow and against a team that is great against stopping the tight end. Logan Thomas and Hunter Henry, because it's hard finding a bunch of tight ends to say to sit.
It is hard to find a bunch of, because like every tight end is pretty much in play every single week. Let's talk about George Kittle, though, because you mentioned the Arizona Cardinals. I've been saying it. You know, there are things that you can count on in life, death, taxes, the sun rising in the east, and the Cardinals being bad against tight ends. George Kittle's a good player and a good matchup. This is about as easy a thought as it comes in fantasy football.
Yeah, it is. And I know George Kittle disappointed last week. He scored just 3.1 fantasy points. He only had one catch. He looks good on that one catch. I don't know why they don't like to give him the ball more, because it's a very crowded offense. I get it. But if there's ever a week to trust George Kittle, it's this one. The Cardinals have allowed by far the most fantasy points to tight ends, the most targets, catches, yards, and touchdowns. That's literally every category that you can allow the most production to the tight ends. They have allowed that. And plus, he's George Kittle. What tight end are you going to start over him unless you have Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews?
That's pretty much the answer. You have Kelce, you have Andrews, maybe you have Kittle, maybe Dalton Schultz. Beyond that, you're pretty much streaming the position. Speaking of Dalton Schultz, I don't even care about the matchup anymore for Dalton Schultz. It's that he's getting healthy and he's got Dak Prescott at quarterback on a team that really is looking for other options besides just CeeDee Lamb. That alone, for me, makes Dalton Schultz a guy that you can probably lean on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and when a lot of us, I know both of us were excited for Schultz coming into the season, and a lot of it was for every reason you just said, like he could be the number 2 target. I think you throw out everything that happened with Cooper Rush. I mean, Dalton Schultz wasn't rosterable with Cooper Rush, but in the games that he has played with Dak Prescott this year, he's averaging over 12 fantasy points per game. He scored more than 13 in 3 of 4 of those games, and the one he didn't, he scored 9.9 fantasy points. So if you're telling me his floor is around 10 and he has the potential to give you over 13, like last week he had over 17, this is a tight end that you want to start each and every week.
Pretty much. And I was thinking the rest of the way, he probably is a top 5 tight end just because of circumstances, because there aren't a lot of guys out there. Zach Ertz is gone. We'll see where Dallas Goedert, or how long Dallas Goedert is out, but Dalton Schultz could very easily be a top 5 tight end kind of by default for the rest of the season. Time now for Finger Licking Good Starts, presented by KFC. I guess I should call it the Finger Licking Good Start of the week, because the good folks who make chicken are paying for it to be called that. Anyway, let's talk about some guys that deserve a little bit more hype and should be in lineups this weekend. Mike, who is your first guy this week?
Tyler Boyd going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yeah, they've allowed the most fantasy production to wide receivers so far this season. But the reason I like Boyd even more this week, it's a weird reason, but it's because TJ Watt is back. And you might be like, why does that help Tyler Boyd? Because Pittsburgh is going to be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow. So I think he's going to look to get rid of the ball quickly. And that's where Tyler Boyd comes into play, those short over the middle routes. We know that these two have so much connection together. So Boyd is shown to have a very safe floor and a high ceiling with Jamar Chase. I think you just continue to ride him this week.
I think you can also get down with Cordero Patterson this week going against the Chicago Bears. I mentioned that this is probably going to be a run-heavy game between two teams that just want to run the football, and also two run defenses that are pretty bad. Now, a couple weeks ago, Patterson came in, had a couple of touchdowns. Last week, short week, bad weather. He didn't see the ball as often. This week, I think we go back to seeing Cordero Patterson as a workhorse. We know he can be effective. He's definitely should be in a lot of starting lineups this week. George Pickens, is he back in our life now this week?
Yeah, I think so. It was nice to see him have a good game last week, scoring that rushing touchdown. I love that they were getting him involved in the ground game, but we didn't see the more passing volume that we thought would come without Chase Claypool, but that was largely because they were playing with a lead throughout and relying on the run game. I think this is a game where they'll have to score points, keeping up with Joe Burrow and that Bengals offense, which means more volume for George Pickens. He is the receiver that Kenny Pickett has the chemistry with, not Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson has been incredibly frustrating. You know, I talked about Cordero Patterson. I'm going to take the running back on the other side in that game, and that's David Montgomery. Did I mention this is going to be a run-heavy game against two bad run defenses? Because it is. Khalil Herbert not there. We know he's on injured reserve for at least the next 4 weeks. That means a lot of that opportunity is going to go to David Montgomery. I know there are people out there, a lot of the hipsters, a lot of the deep divers who are talking about Treston Ebner, but I think his role will be minimal. I think you're going to see this run game split up between David Montgomery and Justin Fields, and this is a very good week to make sure you have Montgomery in your lineup. Still to come, we're going to find out which star running back Florio says needs to be riding the pine this week. You're going to want to stick around for that. We're dropping knowledge about running backs, plus we're getting the money guns ready. That's right, Club Dub coming up just a little bit. Stick around for more of the Fantasy Stardom Situm Show. Week 11 running backs, start, sit. Who's on the list?
Stevenson Seasonson carries on against the Jets this week. Cordero Patterson, I'm with you, Marcus. I have him as a start in a good matchup against the Bears. Brian Robinson, although Antonio Gibson in play as well there. Devin Singletary in the snow against Cleveland. And then some sits. Big name DeAndre Swift, I would be getting away from him. Darrell Henderson Jr., James Robinson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No way you could trust CEH right now.
It's just impossible to trust CEH at this point. But back to Devin Singletary. I know he has been frustrating. It was nice that he scored 2 touchdowns, but even then, he only got you about 15 fantasy points with that. But the Browns' run defense has been terrible. The weather might be bad. There seems like a lot of reasons to get behind Devin Singletary this week.
Yeah, there are. And one is that he has been involved more as of late with at least 13 carries in 3 of the Bills' last 4 games. And like you said, the Browns have struggled against the run all year. They've allowed the second most fantasy points to running backs, a whole bunch of touchdowns, a whole bunch of rushing yards over expectation. It's all in the article. But if you want narratives, there's so many narratives for this right now. 6 feet of snow. The coaches have been asked all week why they haven't been running the ball more. Josh Allen's elbow. There's so many reasons to feel good about starting Devin Singletary this week.
Absolutely. Plus, there's talk going around. Joe Goodberry, if you don't follow him, does a lot of good Bengals stuff. He actually tweeted, hey, start Devin Singletary because he's 5'7", and defenses won't be able to see him in 6 foot of snow, which as far as I'm concerned, that's just science. That just makes a lot of sense to me. DeAndre Swift has been like incredibly frustrating.
A little floating blob.
Right.
Sorry.
It's just it's like Bugs Bunny when he's like burrowing through the earth trying to get to Rancho Cucamonga or whatever. Anyway, DeAndre Swift has been incredibly frustrating the last few weeks. We think he's getting more work than he's not. You got him as a sit. Are you just worried about him? What's up?
Yeah, like last week, Dan Campbell came out and said DeAndre Swift's going to get more work, and he lied. He played fewer than 20 snaps for his second straight game, had just 7 touches, finished with 12 yards and a touchdown. If he doesn't get that touchdown, you're literally looking at less than 2 fantasy points. They're getting Justin Jackson involved there now as well, so 3 running backs. And the Giants are a good defense that have allowed a very few fantasy points to running backs all season.
I'm still starting Jamal Williams in a couple of places just because they use him near the goal line and there's touchdown upside there. Speaking of upside, it's time to get on up, get all dressed up, get your finest gear, get that perfume, that cologne ready because it's time for Club Dub. The doors are open. The cover charges are being paid. Who gets in the club for free, though? Because they're going to score you 25 points this week, Florio.
Everyone's making room, like his offensive line is making room for him again. They're like, look, you haven't seen him here in a while, but welcome back, Jonathan Taylor. Good things are happening for JT again in Indianapolis because, I don't want to say Jeff Saturday, but because Matt Ryan is back and quarterbacking for the Colts. Taylor had his best game of the year last week, and what I love is he's not leaving the field. He played over 90% of the snaps, which means even if they are trailing against the Eagles, we're not going to see Nyheim Hines come in and take the role. He's no longer there. All the pass work is going to go to Jonathan Taylor. Plus, last week, the Colts O-line had their second highest run block grade of the season. So I think right now, I agree with what you said on the podcast earlier this week, Marcus. It feels like Jonathan Taylor's run starts now.
I think he's going to come back to life for the back part of the season, which is going to be encouraging for everybody who's been frustrated by starting him. As for me, speaking of guys who are starting to get hot right now, CeeDee Lamb, welcome to Club Dub. That's right, we're gonna make it rain with CeeDee Lamb this week against the Minnesota Vikings. It was surprising to me. He is the wide receiver 8. I guess I didn't realize he had been that consistently productive because he hadn't had a ton of blow-up games, but the highest team target share in the league, about 32%. They're getting a ton of air yards as well, and the ceiling just elevated with Dak Prescott back at quarterback. This game could be very high scoring. I think a lot of passing in this one, and I think CeeDee Lamb is going to continue to eat against the Vikings secondary that has been sort of questionable at times this year. So there you go. Those two guys going to lock things up for you and help you get a win because they're going to be chilling and sipping some champagne in Club Dub this week. We're going to go and chill. We're not going to be sipping champagne because we still have other stuff to do. You can go check us out, of course, on NFL Fantasy Live. But we do appreciate you hanging out here with us on the Stardom Sit-'em Show. Again, go check out Florio's work at NFL.com/start-sit. For Mike, I am Marcus. We appreciate you watching. Enjoy Week 11, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.